2026. It's been 7 years since we've started this YouTube channel, and in this time, I've seen YouTube go through a full rebuild.
Namaskara Machas. This video is going to be a little different. I'm going to talk about how social media has evolved over the past 5 to 10 years and how I'm trying to adapt to that. Let's start with the elephant in the room, generative AI. This is what is driving most of this evolution. AI is a great tool. So if you don't know what people are looking for and you don't know how to do research or don't have the time to do research, AI is great. If you have some ideas but they're all over the place and you need to organize it nicely into a script so people understand, they're curious and they keep watching till the end, AI is great. If you want to ask people to subscribe to your channel without sounding too pushy, AI is great. Then yeah, titles, thumbnails, description, all of these things, AI is nice to, bounce your ideas off of. But the problem comes when people create their entire content using only AI.
I built this $3,000 shed for under $400.
Absolutely zero effort on their own. This content, which we call AI slop. Platforms are trying their level best to crack down on it, and while they do that, the rest of us get. These people game the system by posting like 5 videos a day, so they get millions of subscribers, millions of views, maybe even a lot of money, who knows.
Now we have AIs playing chess against each other while the rest of us are playing checkers.
Platforms are way too saturated with this AI content.
Like back in the day, consistency actually meant something. But now, whether you upload once a week or once a month, it barely makes a difference.
But, nobody likes this.
This AI slop.
Trust me, I've tried going into that myself. And the comments were not good. I mean, thank God for that. And talking about hate comments, these platforms actually reward content which gets a lot of hate comments. See, the algorithm is designed to keep people on the platform as long as possible so that they can show more ads, make more money. So if you go and start typing out one big paragraph about why you don't like some content, you are spending a lot of time on it, and that gives it a boost in the algorithm. Now that's so ironic and backwards, isn't it? Because the algorithm is not so smart. It can't tell the difference between sarcasm, being genuine, a positive comment, and a negative comment. All it sees is how much time are you spending on that content. So yeah, this sort of stuff gets rewarded. So one strategy people use to compete with this AI slop is to create extremely over-the-top dramatic content. Even people who normally wouldn't do it, like Professor, he's never been that type of content creator. I watched him for like 10 years. Then people watching some celebrity interview, then taking one sentence here and there, making one completely out of context reel so that it sounds sensational, dramatic, and completely not what that celebrity said.
Okay, 4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be a career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals and I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want.
Well, it's so interesting you say that because I want to talk a lot about that today because I relate to you in that way. Like I really, really never thought I was going to get married. I'm like, there's actually no way that's ever going to happen. And then it happens and you're like, maybe I didn't know myself that well. And it's like, no, you knew yourself when you were young.
Yes.
And then life happens and then you grow up and then you have different wants and needs and that's okay to change your mind.
Yes.
But it's still shocking.
It's still shocking.
Just so they can get some comments. Like, this is so fake. I would rather do a 9 to 5 job than go down this path. And unfortunately, we as people are more likely to comment on something we don't like than comment on something we do like. Which brings me to the next strategy people are using to beat AI saturation. Rage bait.
Men are allowed multiple women, women are not allowed multiple men.
100% the blame is always on the female. While we're on subject of cheating, if your man does cheat, the most stupid thing you can do is leave him.
They purposely post some ridiculous nonsense so people come and leave hate comments.
Oh, foul, foul. He's a fake Serbian. Fake Serbian. What do you mean foul? Real Serbians don't call foul.
Then these guys will reply to that hate comments so that the person who left the comment comes back and leaves more comments. This way the people spend a lot more time on that content and it gets pushed that much more. And this has made people more hateful than they already were on social media. Not just for creating content, but even when someone else is creating content, they'll come and leave some ridiculous nonsense in the comments. They'll even be totally racist in the name of dark humor. Arey macha, any kind of humor is supposed to have some context to it, some build up, not simply come and leave some. And why? Because they want people to reply, they want to get attention. And give them attention I have. Because yeah, them coming back, replying more, means spending more time, that video gets a boost in the algorithm. You know, I put so much thought, effort, create a video I really like, that doesn't do well, but then the videos which get hated on the most also get the most views. Arey, when I was playing in one of these parks, I've had a kid come and tell me to record some fighting and put it up because that would be good rage bait. But what to do, macha? Rage baiting is not good for my mental health. See, no matter how much I understand the logic behind this, at the end of the day, it will affect me on a subconscious level. So now comes the time when I have to rethink my life.
If this is what it takes to make it as a full-time content creator in 2026, do I really even want to do this anymore? Is working for someone else really worse than chasing an algorithm?
See, I first started content creation because 18-year-old me wanted to become a pro basketball player. But that fell flat quickly. In college, I had the worst coach you can imagine, and right after that coach got fired, COVID came. So I started creating content because I want a way to still continue enjoying basketball.
Man, come on, I have worked too hard to just let it go like that. To go and then sit behind a computer and work a normal job.
Now, as I began to create more content, I came to actually enjoy it. Now, fast forward 2026, and I'm beginning to ask myself if am I even enjoying this so much anymore? And on top of that, I realized that instead of making videos for myself, if I make for other people, I'll get enough of money. So should I just stop creating content, focus on freelancing and get more money so that one fine day I can just retire and focus on traveling and playing basketball?
Oh, hell no!
Because see, at the end of the day, I enjoy watching my own clips, and a little bit of fame would be good, like when you go to a court and people know you. And of course, I do not want to feel like a failure. That too 2 times. So no. Quitting is not the answer. It's just I have to be a little more clear on my why I am doing this. So this year and going forward, I'm going to focus more on what I enjoy truly.
Swiper no swiping! Swiper no swiping! Swiper no swiping!
Oh, me!
And I want to work with more interesting ideas, even if that means I can't upload so often. Oh no! We're trapped in the corner! Do you see a space where I can dribble through? That's right!
Who do we ask for help when we don't know which way to go?
I want to focus on creating real connections with people because, see, that's the part of fame I do enjoy, right?
Making new friends or just having a good time with my friends.
And also, see, 10 to 15 years down the line, AI will only improve. So the one thing that we as humans have over AI is genuine face-to-face connection, building that community. I guess that's the better way to beat AI rather than rage baiting. And when I dreamt of being a professional basketball player, this connection was one thing I wanted. And traveling all over the place was another. So that is one more thing I am going to focus on going forward.
Hopefully, sometime in the future, the algorithm rewards this kind of content also. But until then, I don't want to be relying on these algorithms for my livelihood.
On the side to make money, I will create content for others, as many people as I can. To do that, I'm probably going to have to hire some people rather than do it all myself, because that's the only way I can sustain both together. So crazy, right? You can say I'm starting a small business of sorts. Something 18-year-old me would have always thought was too much, too overwhelming. But now with the help of AI, it's actually possible. Because whenever I'm confused, I can't search on Google. There's too much information. I wouldn't know where to start, how any of this works. And even the people around me can't answer. ChatGPT is a great place to get the answers. It's like if AI closed one door, it opened one more. So I'll end with a New Year resolution for 2026. Keep evolving, keep looking for new opportunities, and most of all, focus on what makes me happy. Because at the end of the day, isn't that the reason I didn't want to work a normal job? So rant over, machas. If you want to join me on this journey, travel around with me, be a part of the community, subscribe and turn on all notifications. See you next week.